So Texas has a bunch of visitors coming into June. When we're talking, I think there's like 50 visitors coming in for June already scheduled, and it's only going to grow. I'll run through these real quick. Sam Utu, Nicholas Robertson, Max Wright, who's committed to Texas, Kendall Gerville, Luke Waffley, Kosi, I'm going to butcher some of these, Acapala, Jermaine Bishop, Valden Stone, Samari Matthews, Justice Fitzpatrick, Dia Bell, Caden Finley, Chris Stewart, Kaden Prothro, John Turntine, Samuel Rosenborough, Bryce Perry Wright, Jalen McCoy, Kamari Brooks, Dre Quinn, Tank King, Chase Calcutt, Jalen Lott, Xavier Crowell, KJ Edwards, Mark Bowman, Hayward Howard Jr., Amari Latimer, Aaron Gregory, Caden Dixon Wyatt, Jabari Mack, Heezy Kent, Felix Ojo, Cody Green, Malachi Lee, Zayden Krempin, Jamion Winfield, Dylan Berryman, Tico Crittenden, Bodney Cleveland, and that is the list. And I'm sure it's only going to grow, so it's a big list. So who are your top 5 visitors you'd like to see Texas land during this time when they do visit Texas in June?
Yeah, so first one on the list, John Turntine, right? Whoever, however you say his last name, that is a can't miss for Texas. Like there's one other can't miss lineman in here, and he's on my list too. But Turntine is a guy who absolutely needs to walk away. If not committed to Texas, like a guy Texas in a handy lead for him, because Texas is going to be fine at offensive line for a couple of years, but you want to keep that cycle going. Texas is in a really good position where you're getting guys to be able to rest a couple of years, right? We're getting, these elite guys who come in, Baxter and Gooseby, right? Those are guys who came in, were hotly contested recruits that came in and sat for a couple of years, and now we're seeing where they're at. So I don't want to repeat myself twice. So my top 2 guys on the list are Turntine and Ojo, right? 1 and 2 on my list are those 2 guys that they need to walk away from that visit weekend, if not committed to Texas fully, like Texas in a handy lead.
No, I agree with that. I have number 1, Felix Ojo as well. I think this guy's just a freak, like 6'6", 275. This is a guy that's easily, once he gets here, you'll see him weigh 300, 305 right away. He's just going to put on weight. He's got that type of frame. If you're 6'6" as a senior in high school, you got the frame to put on weight. He's ranked as the 7th best player in the whole country. 2nd or 3rd best offensive tackle, depends where you want to look in the recruiting services. So I think he's a hell of a football player. Texas is prioritizing him. He has said it himself. Texas has said it. So I definitely think they need to land him. And I've said this. This is a recruiting cycle where these type of guys are in your state, 1, and 2. That big class was 4 years ago. So now it's time to get hit again with another big class and allow kind of a reset there at the offensive line position. So I completely agree with that. You already went with your number 2. So I'm going to go with my number 2, Jamion Winfield. I think Jamion Winfield is a freak. Last year, guys, he had 22 tackles for loss and 8.5 sacks. He is currently committed to USC, but he's from Texas. And to me, guys, I could care less if he's committed to USC. If you look at USC's cycle last year, they had so many guys, including Justice Terry, who's now at Texas, early on. Oh, I'm going to Southern Cal, and I'll tell you why. Southern Cal's a really cool school to commit to. Not many guys go and play there because it's on the West Coast. They don't really care about football as much. They just don't. If you look at the TV ratings, that's the truth. If you look at the stands, that's the truth. They don't pay top dollar like most of the other schools in the South or even the Big Ten. The rest of the Big Ten does. So I think there's a real shot Texas gets this guy to flip over to Texas and actually come to the University of Texas and not just commit.
There's also a real shot that the head coach at USC is a different guy when signing day comes. So yeah, I'm with you there. And I think he's a guy who, he is a plug and play defensive tackle, right? He's already 6'4", 6'5" as a senior. So big kid will come to campus, add 10 pounds just by breathing air in Austin, right? Just be up to it. So I gave you my number 1, number 2. My number 3 guy, Kaden Prothro, is a guy who Texas, I think, absolutely needs to land. 6'6", 210, freak athlete, tight end. Everybody in the country wants him for good reason. He is probably more on the modern flexi tight end than the inline type of tight end, but I'm not mad at it. We saw what Texas was able to do with Jatavian Sanders in that type of role. I'm not saying he's the athlete that Jatavian Sanders was and will be that kind of level, but he is a guy who I think can come in, and he's that matchup nightmare at tight end, right? He's too big for corners, he's too fast for linebackers, so he's a guy, top 40, I think. He's like right on the edge of top 25, almost. He'll end up being a consensus 5-star, I think, by the end of the year. He's a guy, when there's a 5-star tight end from a rival's state that has heavy interest in you, there's a lot of incentive to sign him.
No, I agree. It's funny. We're on the same wavelength, just different player. I have Mark Bowman. This is a guy that reclassified from last year's class, and this guy's going to be ranked as either the best or second best tight end after reclassifying. I think that tells you how damn good this guy is. His dad's actually from Texas. They moved out to California. He's one of those guys. I guess his dad is pushing him to go to Texas. His dad said it on multiple sides, like, I want him to go to Texas. That doesn't mean he will end up at Texas, but I do think Texas will end up in his final 3. It's going to be interesting what he decides, but this is a game changer at tight end. This is a guy that's being compared to Brock Bowers. Like, that's crazy to me that this guy's being compared to Brock Bowers, and especially after reclassifying. I think that tells you how special he is. He's 6'4.5", 225. He's legitimately good at everything. Again, there's nothing bad I look at and say, man, he needs to get better at that. And I think he can just be a very, very special player in this offense. I think he's the type of guy that would take this offense to a level that it hasn't been at in like since the Vince Young days.
I'm with you there. And again, a game-changing tight end. Either one of these guys. I like Prothro. That's just my preference, but either way, I'm happy about it. Who's next on your list?
Number 4, I have KJ Edwards. Again, we just talked about the running back situation, and we've kind of missed out. Javion Osborne's headed to Notre Dame most likely. Xavier Crowell seems like he's going to end up at Alabama right now. So this is the guy left. Now, I think he is higher rated than Javion Osborne. I don't know about Xavier Crowell. I think they're about the same ballpark-wise. He's the 42nd best player, according to 247. But 11.25 yards per carry. So he's just definitely a home run threat. Those are like some Bijan Robinson numbers out of high school. I think Bijan averaged like 12 or 13 yards a carry. And this is in Texas. So he's a really good player, really special player. And I think he elevates the room if he comes to Texas. And this is the type of guy, if he came in and played right away, then we're like, oh, that makes sense. Whereas, like, again, like we said, James Simon, that doesn't bode well for the running back room. That would bode well if he came and started right away at Texas.
I'm with you there. I had him as well. He's the next guy on my list, so I'll just flip-flop him for the sake of not repeating ourselves. Yeah, KJ Edwards, he's an elite playmaking running back. He's from your state. He's a guy who can come in, and if that running back room continues to be muddy, he's a guy that could very easily rise to the top of a muddy middle in a running back room. He's that guy who I think plays big. He's 5'10", 180, but also has a little bit more of the speed that I think Texas is lacking in the room. So I'm with you there. I think he's a guy who could come in. And if we hear his name a lot during next spring, and I would not be shocked to hear him as the next guy up.
No, 100%. He's a special play. And there's a lot of special running backs in this class. It's pretty deep running back class, so it'd be awesome to land him. Who's your next one up?
So I have, this was probably my most controversial pick. I got Tank King next on my list. I like his game. He's not like the flashiest guy. He's like a 400s kind of guy, but he's a 6'2", 205 linebacker who's played multiple positions in high school. He's just a ball player, and he's mean and he's nasty. In Texas, we just talked about it with impact players, right? Anthony Hill gonna be gone after this year, right? Leonga Leifau, 1 year left probably after this year. Texas needs to reload at that linebacker position. He's a guy I like. Defenders from Port Arthur. It's just something about the swag they bring. It's something about the attitude they bring. So he's not like the flashiest name on the list. He's not, Kaden Finley was like my honorable mention right below him. Kaden Finley, elite wide receiver. But when it comes to defenders, Tank King has everything I like. And he's a guy, so I think if Texas adds him, he's also kind of a gravitational personality from what I've seen from him. So he's a guy that I think Texas would be very happy to have, and I'd be happy for Texas to have him.
No, he has a great frame and body to play linebacker at Texas. Like, they have a type for that, and I think he fits that. Number 5 for me is Samari Matthews. Again, prototype of the cornerback position, 6 foot, 180 pounds, long, lengthy guy. Right now, it seems to be it's either going to be Clemson or Texas. Obviously, this is in April. Things could change, but that's the early lead here. I think Texas is definitely going to come on strong. We usually do coming down the stretch, and he's, like, again, the prototypical cornerback that we want here, especially in a PK defense. And then also with Dwayne Aquino. Dwayne Aquino likes nasty guys that like to get up in the face, jam a little bit, play a little bit of man coverage, and I think he can fit that definitely day one coming in at Texas, and he's probably going to grow. Like, he's 6 foot now. He could end up being 6'1" or 6'2", and we know we like long, lengthy corners right now on the 40 acres.
Yeah, he's a guy who has everything to be a shutdown corner under the tutelage of the man who's created basically 75% of the shutdown corners in Texas modern history, right? Dwayne Akina is the type of guy that takes that type of player and turns him into a Sunday player. And so I think if Texas can bring him home, Dwayne Akina is going to be very happy and have another piece of clay to put a Thorpe Award on.
No, 100%. That does it for this list, guys, and for this episode. So please, again, this has been the 49th edition. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. It really helps out. And join us every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time talking Texas Longhorns football. You know, that time is fast approaching to where these guys will actually be committing soon. You know, committing season's usually over the summer, a little bit into the season, and then again, it will come in big chunks towards the end of the season, but we're almost there. So please, guys, we'll keep up to date with that. So join us every Monday and with breaking videos.